And a pleasant good evening, everybody. Alongside Maria Trivalpiece, I'm John Perez. We're ready for a rubber match here tonight as New York took the first series, and then the Bats came to play last night for Atlanta. New York trying to get off the schneid and trying to build some momentum before they go to Colorado.
Well, the Bats have been there. They just need to execute with runners in scoring position. That's where they struggled a little bit yesterday. But either way, two great softball games in this series, John. Can't wait for game number 3.
It should be a fun one. How about this? 15 combined home runs through the first two games, and Atlanta was leaving the yard yesterday. And here's their starting 9, led by Kat Tarvin, as we take a look at Morgan Howe, who has been hitting the heck out of the ball over the last couple of days. Power alleys, she's the complete package so far.
Well, Kat Tarvin had a conversation with Morgan Howe and just said, look, you know how good you are. Let me show you some film. And she is showing it every single night that she stepped on the field here in New York.
So that's Atlanta. On the other side for New York, a little shakeup of the lineup at the bottom of the order. Kayla Wadel in the 9 spot, taking over for Ashley Treeweiler. Lauren Lucas has had a good series. She's got 3 hits and 9 at-bats.
She's been so fun to watch because she's been able to make good contact even on her outs, and she's provided some pop. She's hit a home run in this series as well.
Jalen Ford gets the assignment in the circle for the New York Rise, as Ford looks to shake off her rusty performance from Thursday night, as Kiki Malloy is the first batter of the ball game, and we are ready to go here at Hofstra, and the first pitch is taken inside for ball 1.
First pitch, 6.
Well, Michaela Transu told us that Jalen Ford is such a competitor. She's been doing this pro softball thing for a minute now, John, and so when she gets in the circle, the team really feeds off of her competitive energy.
She had a great first outing against Orlando. It was a tough night on Thursday, but against Orlando through 6 shutout innings, gave up 4 runs in 3 innings on Thursday night, as that hits Malloy, and a leadoff base runner for Atlanta.
Hey, double play is here.
The Smoke just need base runners here early in this first inning. This has been a battle of the bats the last 2 games, and the way that the bats have been able to step up in big moments, that has been the deciding factor in games. But you can't hit runners in until you get runners on base. So Kiki Malloy doing her duty as leadoff hitter, maybe not how she wanted. That looked a little bit painful, but gets on base to lead off the game.
This is bunted right side of the circle, going to be tough. Oh, the glove work, Jalen Ford. Shovels it over to first to knock out Woolley.
This is the veteranship of Jalen Ford, knowing that she doesn't have a lot of time with the speed of Coco Woolley. Woolley doing a great job of placing this bunt in no woman's land. Ford just so athletic, though, getting off the mound. Flips it at the last second, but hey, still executed perfectly by Woolley in the Atlanta Smoke.
Jada Cody takes a strike, the catcher. I know you've been really impressed with Cody. Love the glove work from Ford. Don't want to leave that there. But Cody came into the series hitting .444, is 3 for 8 with a couple of RBIs, and takes high, count 1-1.
And we'll talk about it more when she gets behind the dish, but that's where I've been the most impressed with her, John, is her ability to call a game and also just work with every single pitcher that Atlanta throws out there.
Here's the 1-1. And that's rolled foul just down the left field line.
And it's so interesting the way that she hits with taking the step and then loading up and swinging. But I think for her, it just creates so much power and torque in her lower half. She takes good, hard, fast cuts. And I think by getting her body in motion, it allows her to do that more effectively.
1 home run, 5 RBIs. 5 extra base hits so far, and chases the high cheddar and goes down swinging for Ford's first strikeout of the evening.
Jalen Ford's really working that pitch in the upper part of the zone. It has some spin on it, but the thing that makes it effective, especially here tonight, is the speed. That's what she hit Kiki Malloy with. I'm sure it didn't feel good, but that pitch to Jada Cody with a couple extra miles per hour on it to get the K.
Here's Charla Eccles, the Florida Gator, takes off the plate. Defensively for New York, left to right in the outfield is Kayla Wadel, Riley Blampede, Lauren Lucas, Spade, Williams, Laird, Alex Brown, McKenna Smith behind the plate, and Ford in the circle. And the count 2-0 to Charla Eccles. Eccles 2 for 6 in the series, a couple of RBIs. She hit 2 home runs Saturday against Orlando and has not been one of the 15 home run hitters in this game, although it hasn't been 15 individual that have gone deep. Maddie Grimm, though, leads the way with 2. So does Sammy Williams, both leading their teams.
And it's any player at any given moment, even if they're not one of the 15 home runs in these first 2 games. A lot of players on both of these teams have the pop that they can put it out.
Here's a 2-1. That's in the air the other way. Blampete dives, gets past Wadle, and Malloy comes in to score. Blampete picks up the loose ball, and it'll be an RBI double for Charlotte Eccles, and Atlanta strikes first.
Jalen Ford throws with a lot of speed, but this one has the miles per hour on it, but it's hung up in the zone. Charlotte Eccles drives it the opposite way. How about the effort, though, from Wadle over there in left field? Just misses that. That's all she can really do with that ball, but a big first run here for the Smoke.
Morgan Howe takes off the plate, count 1-0. Wadle getting the start in game 3. She started game 1 out in right field, and we talked about the wind tunnel and even dealing with some of the sun that these teams are going to have to deal with for probably the first 3 innings of tonight's game. Howe takes a strike and the count 1-1.
Sun really hasn't been a factor in games 1 and 2 because it has been a little bit chillier, overcast, there's been some wind, and so it will be interesting tonight to see how that sun setting affects the outfielders.
Mo Howe 3 for 9 in the series. 2 home runs and an RBI, and she might have another one to deep right field. Lucas going back, looking up, it's out of here. Her 3rd home run of the series, and Morgan Howe hits a 2-run shot to give Atlanta a 3-0 lead in the first.
Morgan Howe is just swinging with so much confidence in this series. It seems as though every time she comes up, she's making good contact. This one, John, again, Jalen Ford leaving just a little bit too up in the zone. Howe doesn't even have to swing that hard because of the speed supplied by Ford. Drives that inside pitch into the trees and right.
16th combined home run of the series. And a lot of pop in this Smoke lineup. Jasmine Hill got off the Schneid 2 last night with a solo home run. Back in inning number 6. And the count 1-1.
But if we learned anything in this series, John, it's that it doesn't matter what happens at the beginning of the game. It really doesn't matter who scores first because both of these teams have so much power and pop and fight in them that there's been so many lead changes.
Popped up right side, and there is Carly Spade to haul it in. But a 2-run home run by Morgan Howe and an RBI double by Charlotte Eccles gives Atlanta a 3-0 lead going to the bottom of the first. AZ Gloveman is Casa Grande, Arizona's quality leather sporting goods provider. Softball, baseball, batting gloves, and more. AZ Gloveman caters to men's and women's slow-pitch softball markets throughout the United States. Build your dream glove today at azgloveman.com. With proven day programs, routines, and expert coaching, Camwood Elite is the one-stop shop to improve your game or pick up some of the elite equipment in the nation. From pro-grade game bats to elite training, check out camwoodbats.com today. Conveniently located in Rockville Center, Frank's Steaks is a refined but casual, authentic New York steakhouse on Long Island. Since it opened 40 years ago, Frank's Steaks has been committed to serving high-quality prime cuts of beef in a timeless New York atmosphere with a friendly, attentive waitstaff. It's this obsessive dedication to our craft that has led Frank's Steaks to becoming the local destination for special dinners and celebrations. Billy Kerwood, no stranger to the mound here at Hofstra, playing in the CAA, last played for Delaware, and started her career at Monmouth, and she brings the heat.
Speed is something that makes her incredibly effective, and when we talked to Kat Tarvin, she said the biggest thing that she wants to see Billy do is just adjust to this professional game. She said this is her first year in the pros, and so figuring out what opposing hitters hit, what they lay off of, is going to help her be a bit more successful. And it's tough, right? Because when you get to this level, these are the best of not just the travel teams, but now the college teams as well. And so you need to figure out, all right, this pitch that used to be a swing and miss, they're now driving for home runs. And so I'm excited to watch Billy Kerwood tonight and see how she continues to progress in her time with the Atlanta Smoke.
2025 CAA Pitcher of the Year, an ECAC Pitcher of the Year, and an All-CAA first-team member. went 5-18, but you could throw the record out the window. A lot of that has to do with starting games down south. Of course, when you go the distance, you have a lot of results. As Alex Brown takes the first pitch strike, 0-1. Brown hitting .342 on the season, 2 hits in the series and 7 at-bats, a walk and a run scored. It's interesting, and like you mentioned last inning too, Maria, is that it really doesn't matter who scores first, and that's just being softball in that the first game of the series, Atlanta jumped out to a lead, New York came back and won, and it was the opposite last night with the Smoke tying up the series in the 7-5 final. As that pitch misses upstairs and the count is 2-1.
And it's interesting because the Rise held that lead for a big portion of the game, and then just a quick turn in one inning, the Smoke scored 3 runs, and so it's always being aware, always being on your toes because both teams strike. And especially in this series, I feel like it's been even more prevalent with how good the bats have been.
New York as a team hitting .303 coming into the series and scoring 13 runs in the first 2 games of the series. Left a small village on the base paths as well. Here comes a 3-1 as Brown carves it into left field and it falls for a base hit. Alex Brown thinking of taking the extra base, and she will. Speed kills. Kiki Malloy took a while to get over to that ball, and Brown able to take the extra base.
Alex Brown doesn't even hit this ball that well, but she does everything that she can with it, and she is so intelligent out of the box because she's thinking double all the way. She knows that Malloy's going to have to drift over to the foul line. Even if Malloy picks that up cleanly, I think Brown's safe at second because of the good jump she gets out of the batter's box.
So that'll bring up Jenna Laird with the runner in scoring position. How about Laird? She's been an on-base machine. She's reached base 5 times over the first 2 games. Only has 1 hit, though, but 4 walks, and has done a good job of commanding her own zone.
Well, you want the person with the highest on-base percentage hitting in the 2-hole, and that's something that Jenna Laird does so well.
Pops up the bunt, a dive, and Eccles can't make the play. Almost a scary collision between Cody and Eccles. That just didn't hang up long enough for either to make a play on it.
I think the reason that Charlotte Eccles struggles to get to this is, one, because the ball doesn't hang up there long enough, but she sticks her glove out a little bit too early, and because of that, it slows her down a little bit. Now, I still don't think she could have made that play, and now we need to see how Jenna Laird capitalizes on it, but just glad that nobody collided or got hurt in that situation.
0-2 on Laird. Kerwood ready. And that's ripped on the ground to second base. Wooley's up with it and throws out Laird as Brown moves over to third for the productive out.
It's a quality at-bat. We've talked about quality at-bats all series long, and again, that's why Jenna Laird's in this 2-hole. Runner on second. She doesn't advance her with the bunt, so now you have to be thinking, all right, I need to hit the ball to the right side to do the job that I didn't do on the previous pitch. That's exactly what Jenna Laird does.
Here's Riley Blampede, 3 hits in the series, came around to score 4 times. Hitting .429, a home run, and 9 runs driven in.
How big does that base running from Alex Brown come into play here? Because now, if Laird hits that ball with Brown on first, that could be a double play and 2 outs, nobody on. Instead, it's a runner on third with 1 out.
Well, and that's what New York is trying to establish at the top of the lineup. You've got 2 speedsters out there. They get on base. They rarely strike out. And it's a balanced team. You have a typical power balanced team and a very good balanced 2025 softball facing team, as opposed to old stereotypical lineup where you know, the bottom half of the order might be a little bit weaker. That's not the case here at all. Kayla Wadle has been hitting above her weight, and Sammy Williams has gotten it together.
Sammy Williams with 2 home runs in this series, hitting in the 8th spot tonight.
1-2 rolled foul.
And it makes it so tough on all of these pitchers because you never get a breather. There's points in this lineup where you'll have former All-Americans hitting 7, 8, 9, and so there's no breath. There's no chance for you to take a pitch off. You need to be dialed in from inning 1 to 7.
That goes to the backstop. Here comes Brown, and she scores the first run for the Rise tonight. There's that speed again. She took an extra base, moved over to third, and manufactures the first run.
The Rise score their first run of the game because of the intelligent base running of Alex Brown. First, she does a great job going first to second on the single. She turned into a double, and now no hesitation. As soon as she sees that ball is past Jada Cody, she makes a break for home, easily safe.
2-2 to Blampede. Lifts it in the air, deep right field. Howe at the warning track, and the ballpark will hold it as Howe retires Blampede for the second out.
Riley Blampede might be a little upset with Alex Brown because that goes down as a P9 instead of a sacrifice fly, but still, Blampede gets a good piece of that ball. When you talk about quality at-bats, yes, there's moving runners, yes, there's having multiple pitch at-bats, but good contact is another sign of a quality at-bat, and that's a piece of hitting that Riley Blampede can't be too upset about.
And I think that's the thing about playing here at Hofstra is if you get the ball in the air and it catches a jet stream, it's going to go out.
Well, we've seen that the last 2 days, just the way that it swirls and flies, and I've been so impressed with how much power these women have gotten behind the ball.
Kenna Smith trying to get her power involved. Just 1 hit and 7 at-bats since joining the Rise Thursday night.
But she's had good at-bats, John. I think it was yesterday where she absolutely crushed a ball to center field, couldn't have hit it much better. And so even though it's tough and then stats might not show it, she's seeing the ball well right now.
And misses low in the count 3-0. And Smith takes the whole way. Count 3-1.
If I'm McKenna Smith, I'm being aggressive on this 3-1 pitch because you have to expect that Kerr was going to give it to you somewhere over the plate. And the way that you get that next hit is to get something that's left over the plate. That one on the edge, I think that's a good take to get to 3-2. You weren't going to crush that one.
See the expression in Smith's face. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 3-1 lead for Atlanta, last half of the first. Pitch from Kerwood. And that's lined into the glove of Eccles. And the side is retired. But New York gets a run back. Alex Brown manufactures the first run of the night, 3-1 after 1. College planning is a complex, multi-year journey requiring academic and standardized test success, resume building, and sensible college selection, as well as application savvy. Our college readiness services are designed to help you start early, stay organized, and navigate the critical process with confidence. With college admission and financial advising and ACT, SAT test prep, visit methodlearning.com today. At Just Bats, our business strategy is simple. Get the perfect bat for you on time, every time, exactly as you promised. We not only provide you with the baseball bats and softball bats, but we also provide you with a winning experience and a promise like nobody else. Free shipping both ways, expert customer service, same-day shipping up until 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, on time, every time, exactly as promised at Just Bats. Grand Central Terminal on a Saturday night. The city is a-buzzing, and we've got a fun one here out on the island as Jalen Ford takes the mound for her second inning of work, a 3-1 lead for Atlanta. She's Maria Trivalpiece. I'm John Perez, and there is Ford, who looked in control getting the ground out and the strikeout, but then that's when the trouble began. Charlotte Eccles, an RBI double, and a 2-run home run by Morgan Howe.
Well, Ford gets in trouble when she leaves that ball a little flat in the upper part of the zone. She throws so hard, and so if it's not moving, these hitters connect with it right in their most powerful part of their swing, and that's why it flies. And so I'd like to see her keep the ball down a little bit more. She was working that screwball and curve in her last outing, and if she can do that and add in some change of speeds, she'll be fine.
Maddie Grimm ahead in the count, 2-0. Grew up in Stallstown, Pennsylvania, went to Kent State. 3 for 7 in the series with 5 RBIs. And goes the other way with it, splits the gap, and one hops the wall. And Maddie Grimm thinking two. The throw, not in time. And another extra base hit for Maddie Grimm, her third of the series.
She has such a pretty swing, John. This one going the opposite way. That's a curveball. Again, just not breaking enough off the plate. So these smoke hitters, in particular Maddie Grimm right there, able to get her full barrel on it and drive it.
Here's Taylor Kraft, her first start of the series. Came on as a pinch hitter Thursday night. Banged a single to left field and takes off the plate for ball one. Kraft from Oviedo, Florida. 2024 All Big Ten first team, NFCA Great Lakes All Region second team, former Minnesota Gopher. Getting the start behind the plate. Or check that, DP. Normally a catcher, Cody, starting all three games of the series. Decent speed at second base with Grimm. And the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Ford ready with the 1-2, goes upstairs, and the count 2-2.
Jalen Ford trying to climb the ladder there on that one. See if she can get a chase. That's a good spot for a 1-2 pitch. Now with 2-2, I want to see her come back in the zone, but again, with more spin on the ball.
Well, she goes downstairs, doesn't get Kraft to bite, and the count is full. Had the chance to do a few Big Ten games this year, and just speaking to coaches around the league, they really love Kraft behind the plate. And what she's been able to do for Minnesota. Payoff pitch. Check swing, did she go around? Appeal, and no, says the third base umpire. And that is ball four.
I think that's the right call. This pitch was on the inside half. Kraft hips move a little bit, but that bat never comes around.
Maybe you could explain this better for some people that might be watching their first softball games on the AWSN. As that pitch is in the dirt to McKenna Dowell, and the count 1-0. Why does the appeal go to the third base umpire, even though the first or the right side umpire is not on the first baseline, but still might have a better vantage?
Jalen Ford's getting behind on hitters, and because of that, she's having to leave it over the plate. This one, Dow waiting for, comes back down the middle. She crushes it right back where it came from.
So Kiki Malloy comes to the plate, and there you see Kat Tarvin, head coach at Hampton. Third year with the Atlanta Smoke. Started as a pitching coach a couple of years ago, and then was elevated to the head coaching position. And you can see she really has built the trust of these players. That was her calling card at Hampton, and the players have bought in now with the Atlanta Smoke.
I think in just talking to her, we had a couple conversations with Kat Tarvin, and she just seemed like somebody that you want to do well for, that you want to play for. And that is how teams become successful, if you're led by somebody that you want to run through a brick wall for.
Very complimentary of Kiki Malloy as well, and what Malloy's been able to do in the series. 3 for 5, a home run, 3 RBIs. Jam shot popped up right side. Sammy Williams on the outfield grass. Can't make the basket catch. Comes home with it to try and get the force. McKenna Smith can't make the scoop, and a run scores. We'll see how they rule that, but that's something that hit the glove of Williams. And Smith missed the pick as well. Would have had the force out at the plate.
And it's tough on plays like this. You see Sammy Williams hesitating a little bit, but that's a lot that she has to range backwards, especially because she was pulled in with the bases loaded. And I think that's why she fumbled it.
I call that an E4 as Woolley attacks the first pitch and spoils it foul.
I think that's the right call on that one, though. And Sammy Williams is so great defensively. But because she hesitates a little, she's already in. She goes back, she's a little bit off balance, and she can't hold on to that ball.
Woolley goes the other way, shallow left, that's down for a base hit. Kraft coming home, she will score. Throw goes to third, and they get McKenna Dowell. But it's a 5-1 game as Coco Woolley dunks it into left field.
That ball falls into no woman's land, and I have to give credit here to Kayla Wadle just having the wherewithal to pick it up and throw it and at least get one out on that play.
Cody attacks the first pitch into center field. Blampede on a dive, can't make the catch. And Malloy comes in to score. There will be no relay throw, and the hits keep on coming as Jada Cody makes it 6-1 Atlanta.
The Atlanta offense has just found multiple ways to score in this game, and it's still early. A couple of bloop hits, and now this a good piece of hitting by Cody going the opposite way. Blampede doing all that she can, but unable to come up with that catch that's well out of her range. And so some well-hit balls, but also some balls off the end of the bat are jammed, but you got to take everything that you can. And as we've seen, no lead is safe in this contest.
Kat Sandercock coming into pitch. That does it all for Jalen Ford. We'll take a quick break. 6-1 Atlanta.
At Just Bats, our business strategy is simple. Get the perfect bat for you on time, every time, exactly as you promised. We not only provide you with the baseball bats and softball bats, but we also provide you with a winning experience and a promise like nobody else. Free shipping both ways, expert customer service, same-day shipping up until 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, on time, every time, exactly as promised at Just Bats. Since 2009, Jen Schroe Catching has been training the game's best catchers. From Olympians to national champions, Jen Schroe Catching is the #1 training source for softball catchers worldwide. Train with the best to become the best. Book a lesson today at jenschroecatching.com. With proven day programs, routines, and expert coaching, Camwood Elite is the one-stop shop to improve your game or pick up some of the elite equipment in the nation. From pro-grade game bats to elite training, check out camwoodbats.com today.
Kat Sandercock comes on to try and put out the fire. 3 runs in the first for the Smoke, 3 in the second, and a 6-1 lead for Atlanta as Charlotte Eccles, who doubled to left her last time up, to make it a 1-0 game here at Hofstra. Atlanta's bats have come to play, pushing the agenda early.
Well, Atlanta's gotten a lot of hits in the air. Kat Sandercock has a good drop ball that she utilizes a lot to get ground ball out, so hopefully this can stop the bleeding if you're New York.
Eccles attacks the first pitch, skies it out to center field. Riley Blampede, and then it drifts over to Kayla Wadle, makes the catch. Run will score, throw gets cut off, and the throw down to second not in time. As Woolley comes in to score, Cody's safe at second. It's a sacrifice fly for Charlotte Eccles, and that makes it 7-1.
It's interesting because I'm wondering if they let that ball go through, do they get the base runner going home? And if not, Carly Spade with a great snap throw to second. I thought she almost got the base runner there, but everybody's safe and another run for the Smoke.
Might have just got her hand in there. It was a bang-bang play.
Yeah, it was close. I think watching the replay, I think she was safe, but live, I wasn't as sure.
Yep. Well, so some differences between the college game and the professional game, at least in this league. No pitch clock, and there's no replay reviews. So the umpires don't have that benefit of the doubt. Or you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. They don't have the insurance of the replays.
It keeps things quicker. We've seen it a lot in college, going to that replay, which makes sense, right? Especially with how important a lot of these games are. They go to that official replay. A lot of the times the call is reversed, and so it's one thing that we continue to work on, of just getting some of those, I don't even know what the word, additions to the game at this level as well.
1-1 to Howe, stays upstairs. And so the count 2-1.
Kat Sandercock comes in, though, and sets the tone, right? Gets the first batter she faces out. I think from a New York Rise perspective, that's what you're looking for when you bring in somebody in relief. when you're down as you are this early in the game.
2-1 to Howe, the hitter. And the inning continues. Another plunking, 5th time that Smoke batter has been hit in the series.
Well, the thing about the Atlanta Smoke hitters is a lot of them are up on the plate, which is fine. And I think another thing is, too, they're not afraid to get hit. Some of the best hitters approach their at-bats like that because a base is a base. And so if you throw it within where they are standing, as long as they're not leaning over the plate, they have a right to be there. You have to keep it away from them. And so just some minor adjustments. I think also, too, with a lot of these pitchers, they haven't been pitching as much as they maybe did when they came right out of college. And so some of that off time, just getting that command and that movement under control takes a little bit longer than maybe it has in years past.
Jasmine Hill becomes the 9th batter of the inning. Popped out in her first at bat and takes an inside corner strike, 0-1.
It's about how you respond, though, right? So Kat Sandercock hits a batter. Now she starts off 0-1 to Jasmine Hill.
Hill, one of 4 Aggies to play in over 200 games in her college career. And now behind in the count, 0-2.
Sandercock is really successful so far, hitting the inside corner. Some spin going inside to those right-handed hitters. That's a pitch. When you see it coming in, you're not swinging at it until you get 2 strikes.
0-2, check swing. Did she go? Third base umpire appeal and says no swing.
I don't think she swung. I like the energy from McKenna Smith looking to try to get that call. That's what you do if you're a catcher, but I think she held up.
1-2. Just missed. And the count 2-2.
She started with the 2 pitches inside, went away for the next 2. I want to see Sandercock go back to that inside pitch and get Jazz Hill to chase it.
It's been hitters, umpires in the series. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A pair on base. Pitch fell back to the screen. We'll do it again.
This is how Atlanta beats you, though, right? With their quality at bats and the amount of pitches that they see. Jazz Hill started out 0-2. She takes 2 balls. Now she fouls one off. She's already at 5 pitches in this at bat. And when a new pitcher comes in relief, you want to try to wear them down and read their speeds and locations.
2-2, just off the plate. And the count runs full to 3-2.
How do you adjust, though, if you're Kat Sandercock, that curveball on the outside corner isn't getting called, and so you either have to move it in a little bit or start it a little bit over so that it breaks over the plate?
Sandercock a shake off. Payoff. Roll on the ground to short. Laird goes to second, and the inning is over. But a 4 spot for Atlanta makes it 7-1 after 1.5.
At Just Bats, our business strategy is simple. Get the perfect bat for you on time, every time, exactly as you promised. We not only provide you with the baseball bats and softball bats, but we also provide you with a winning experience and a promise like nobody else. Free shipping both ways, expert customer service, same-day shipping up until 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, on time, every time, exactly as promised at Just Bats. College planning is a complex, multi-year journey requiring academic and standardized test success, resume building, and sensible college selection, as well as application savvy. Our college readiness services are designed to help you start early, stay organized, and navigate the critical process with confidence. With college admission and financial advising and ACT, SAT test prep, visit methodlearning.com today.
It's a 7-1 lead for Atlanta in the bottom of the second inning here. It's been a long Atlanta Smoke lineup, but they're just so deep. And they do a really good job in their plate discipline, and it's showing so far.
Well, we just touched on it in that last inning. They're seeing a lot of pitches, and they're working through these rise pitchers. So starting with Jalen Ford, they waited for her to throw it in the zone, and they crushed it when she did. And then Kat Sandercock comes in relief, and they're having long at bats against her as well. And so that's why Atlanta's been so successful, and Billy Kerwood doing a good job for them in the circle so far.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask you, too. Billy Kerwood, long time in the dugout. How does she adjust?
I think just breathing. I think she's fine. She had a good first inning. Just keep doing what you're doing. I think people have different philosophies on it. Some people need to be up and moving around, but I think the biggest thing for her is just relying on what she knows how to do and what she's been doing so far in this game.
Lauren Lucas will start it off for the New York Rise in the home half of the second inning. Lauren Lucas, Carly Spade, Sophia Nugent, 5-6-7, due up for New York. Lucas, 4 hits in the series, a home run and an RBI. First year playing pro ball. 371 coming into the night. 3 home runs and 8 RBIs. First pitch, taken for a strike, 0-1.
Well, we talked about the Atlanta Smokes discipline at the plate in their pitch selection, and Lauren Lucas has had that this entire series as well, and that's why she's been successful. She waits for something that she knows that she can hit hard, and even if it's not a home run, she's making good contact either with line drives or elevating something in the air, and I love that from a hitter, because sometimes you get caught in this rut of all or nothing, all or nothing. I need to swing as hard as I can out of my heels, and then you're striking out or making weak contact. That's the opposite of what Lucas is doing.
Lucas skies in the air out to deep left field. Kiki Malloy has a beat on it, 1 away.
Even that, I think that got caught up in the wind tunnel, but Lucas got a good piece of that ball. Outside corner, keeps her weight back, drives it. Now she's a little bit underneath it. That's why it's a fly out and not a home run or a double in the gap.
Here's Carly Spade. Spade, the everyday first baseman for the Rise. Hitting .282, 1 home run, 8 RBIs, 3 for 7 in the series. The solo home run Thursday night. Back-to-back shot with Lauren Lucas. And the 1-0, that's carved in the air out to left. Malloy again, 2 down.
Now, if you're just joining us for this third game, we've been talking about this wind tunnel. I promise that we're not making it up. We talked to Michaela Transu, who actually played her college career here at Bill Edwards Stadium, and she told us that because of that building out in center and right, the wind actually hits off that, circles in left, and then comes back out to right field. So that's why you see some of these balls that look like they're hit so well to left field just die and land in the left fielder's gloves.
So even though the flags aren't as gusty as they were the first 2 nights, the wind still being a factor here.
Yes, absolutely. And I think you saw it on those last 2 outs from the Rise.
Sophia Nugent, the 1-0, 2-0. Nugent got the start last night, went 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. .2-0, that's cracked in the air deep left field, and that's gone, a home run. She didn't need the jet stream at all as Sophia Nugent launches her first home run of the year, and that makes it 7-2.
Well, John, to avoid the wind tunnel in left field, there is one way to make an adjustment, and that's just to hit the ball on a straight line right out of the park. And Sophia Nugent figured that out. Gets on top of this Rise ball. See how her bat stays level the entire time. She doesn't even have to finish her swing. Just hits that on a laser over the left field wall.
Good to see the torch back for the second year.
I love the torch. I love a good gimmick coming across home plate. Let me tell you.
Well, at this point, it's not a gimmick, it's an heirloom. Sammy Williams flirting with a deep fly ball to center field, but the wind knocks it down. Jasmine Hill makes the catch, and we're through 2. But Sophia Nugent's solo home run makes it 7-2.
College planning is a complex, multi-year journey requiring academic and standardized test success. resume building, and sensible college selection, as well as application savvy. Our college readiness services are designed to help you start early, stay organized, and navigate the critical process with confidence. With college admission and financial advising and ACT, SAT test prep, visit methodlearning.com today. AZ Gloveman is Casa Grande, Arizona's quality leather sporting goods provider. Softball, baseball, batting gloves, and more. AZ Gloveman caters to men's and women's slow-pitch softball markets throughout the United States. Build your dream glove today at azgloveman.com. With proven day programs, routines, and expert coaching, Cam Wood Elite is the one-stop shop to improve your game or pick up some of the elite equipment in the nation. From pro-grade game bats to elite training, check out camwoodbats.com today.
Clean inning for Kat Sandercock as she comes on in the top of the third inning, and we mentioned the different rules. There is a run rule in this level, so that's something that has to be in the back of the mind for Kat Sandercock. But I'd imagine it's probably just taking it batter by batter now.
Batter by batter and pitch by pitch. She did a good job coming in relief. And the thing that I liked from the Rise offensively was the fact that they're chipping away. They go down by 6 runs, and they could easily just throw in the towel and say, oh, we're done. Nope, a home run from Sophia Nugent to put a run on the board in the bottom half of the second. There's still a lot of softball left to be played. You have to give kudos to this Atlanta Smoke team. They are hitting the ball no matter where it's pitched. But as we said, John, the great thing about these last 2 days has been the at-bats from both teams and the way each team has battled back in a different way in Game 1 and Game 2.
Here's Maddie Grimm. He'll get it started here in the third and roll it foul. And the count 0-1. Grimm doubled to left and came around to score in the second inning. 3 runs in the first, 4 in the second for the Atlanta Smoke, and been one of the best offenses in the WPF and, of course, along the independent circuits. Fouls it off her foot. And the count 0-2. And how about this? First game of the year, they knock off the Vibe 20-1. Second game, 10-5. And eventually the offense subsided for a couple of games, but 10-0 victory against the Orlando Monarchs. They run-ruled them in the second game as well, 9-1. That's rolled just foul. Spade picks it up anyway.
Well, when you take a look at their lineup, I remember when I sat down to just prepare for this game, I couldn't believe the roster that they had put together. There's former All-Americans, there's players who have played for Team USA, and as Kat Tarvin told us, it's really hard to make a batting order because who do you sit? They're all 300-plus hitters in their college days. They've continued to have success at the pro level, and so the hardest part of her job, Coach Tarvin's, is putting together something that works, that's going to produce runs, because there's no bad hitter on this team.
She's made some adjustments as well. Kiki Malloy, for example, started off as the 5-hitter in Game 1 of the series. She's led off in each of the last 2 nights as well.
I like that decision, and we mentioned a little bit yesterday, but Kiki Malloy runs well. You put her at the top. She's one of your best hitters, so she's going to get more at-bats than anybody else just based on the pure flow of the game of softball.
2-2 to Grimm. Just missed inside, and the count 3-2.
And so when you have her at the top of the order, it allows you to do different things. She's put fast lefties behind Kiki Malloy, which allows Malloy to possibly steal some more bases. And so I like the way that Tarvin has orchestrated and created this batting order.
One hop to first. Carly Spade, easy play, and sets down Grimm for the first out of the third. First time that the leadoff hitter's been retired in this game.
And so it's the little victories. You know, you asked before, okay, does she take it batter by batter? Yep, but she takes it pitch by pitch. Can you win this pitch to get to the next pitch? Okay, not only did she win the pitch, she won that batter. So that's how you help your team stay in this game and give your offense a chance to come back.
Just goes to show these offenses as well. We haven't had a 1-2-3 inning yet at all in the series.
And there's a reason why, because just when you think, okay, the defense is going, somebody hits a home run or makes solid contact.
0-1. And that's outside, and the count 1-1.
And the margin for error for these pitchers is so small. And we've seen pitchers on both sides wanting calls so badly. That's because if they move it a centimeter, these hitters are so good, it goes from being a swing and miss to a home run.
In the air out to left, Wadle makes the catch, 2 away.
Shortstop, number 32, McKenna Dowell.
So 2 up, 2 down. Here's McKenna Dowell, single to center in her first at bat. And a good off-speed pitch by Sandercock in the count 0-1.
We haven't seen her throw too many of those tonight, and I want to see her utilize it more because she does throw so hard. She does get you to ground out, but if you have to guess on that off speed, it makes her harder to hit.
Comes the 0-1. And that's off the plate. The count 1-1. It's McKenna Dowell's second at bat, and the Rise have not even batted one time through on their end.
It shows you how strong the Smoke offense is tonight. They're passing the bat. They're getting on base with big hits, but also there's some dribblers, some errors forced against the Rise, and they're just finding ways to cycle through their lineup.
2-1, strike called, and the count 2-2. Rise looking for the first 1-2-3 inning of the series. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the third. Got her. And the inning is over. Kat Sandercock throws up a goose egg, and we go to the bottom of the third, 7-2 Atlanta.
AZ Gloveman is Casa Grande, Arizona's quality leather sporting goods provider. Softball, baseball, batting gloves, and more. AZ Gloveman caters to men's and women's slow-pitch softball markets throughout the United States. Build your dream glove today at azgloveman.com. With proven day programs, routines, and expert coaching, Camwood Elite is the one-stop shop to improve your game or pick up some of the elite equipment in the nation. From pro-grade game bats to elite training, check out camwoodbats.com today.
Bottom of the third inning, Kayla Wadle with a single to center field, and the count now to Alex Brown is 3-1 after that missed off to the left side. Alex Brown with a double to left field, and that's the second wild pitch of the evening for Billy Kerwood. It was ball four regardless, so Wadle will go to second base, and the Rise with a runner in scoring position. And nobody out, and if you're going to make a comeback, there's no better time than now, Maria.
Absolutely not. It's still early in this game. You start by getting base runners. You don't only get one base runner. Now you have two with who else up but Jenna Laird. Again, I feel like we're always talking about her coming up in bunting scenarios, somebody with the high on base, somebody who can do the job and move base runners. And so there's a reason Michaela Transu has her in this 2 spot. She comes up in a lot of scenarios like this. So if you're New York, you're in a good spot right now.
Jenna Laird grounded out to the second baseman in her first at bat.
Number 3, Jenna Laird.
Laird, the local hero, grew up in East Meadow, hitting .265 on the season, a home run and 8 RBIs. A home run in the last game of the road trip. This game in which the Rise hit 3 home runs in their 6-3 victory over the Orlando Monarchs. 1-0. And the count 1-1.
That's what Billy Kerwood needs to do, is throw strikes. You have a 5-run lead. Make the Rise hitters beat you. So don't get behind. Throw it down the, not down the middle, but throw strikes and let your defense work behind you.
Laird laces it foul down the left field line. The count 1-2.
And that's a good adjustment after letting the first 2 batters get on. Now you get ahead 1-2 on Jenna Laird. I like the conversation from Kat Tarvin to go out there and just talk to Billy Kerwood, settle her down and say, hey, look, you got this. We have a lead. Let's just get some outs.
Well, and you know that this Atlanta offense could really turn it back on. That goes back to the circle, and Kerwood goes to third to get the lead runner, Wadle. As Brown moves on to second, and Laird is aboard on the fielder's choice.
Center fielder number 26.
Billy Kerwood came off the mound so well and charged that ball to take away a second hop, and then she used her momentum already heading to third base to get that lead runner.
Here's Riley Blampede, flew out to right field in her first at bat, attacks the first pitch, and almost takes out her teammate Alex Brown, who gets out of the way. Brown rounds third, the throw to the plate offline, trickles a little past Cody, and that's going to allow Blampede and Brown to move up to second, move over a base. Laird goes to third. Brown comes in to score. That makes it 7-3.
After crossing home plate, Alex Brown clutched her chest because I think she was scared that she was going to take that ball in the ribs. And Riley Blampede hit that very hard, so I wouldn't have been in front of that ball either. But big time hit for Riley Blampede, and a great job running the bases again from Alex Brown. That's how the Rise scored their first run, with her intelligent base running. So doing a good job to get the Rise back in this game.
Looks like we'll get a new pitcher for Atlanta. It'll be Donnie Goburn to deal to McKenna Smith. And so Goburn getting ready for her second go-round in the series.
Donnie Goburn throws a lot of pitches up in the zone. She has that great rise ball that gets hitters to chase. A big strikeout pitcher with a lot of spin, and so the Rise need to adjust to that now.
Let's take a quick break.
AZ Gloveman is Casa Grande, Arizona's quality leather sporting goods provider. Softball, baseball, batting gloves, and more. AZ Gloveman caters to men's and women's slow-pitch softball markets throughout the United States. Build your dream glove today at azgloveman.com. AZ Gloveman is Casa Grande, Arizona's quality.
McKenna Smith with an RBI single, and that makes it 7-3. As Jenna Laird comes in to score, and Blampede was right behind her as well. Check that, 7-4, Atlanta.
McKenna Smith blowing a kiss over to the dugout. She's the type of player that just brings the vibes for this team. Michaela Transu told us that the energy has just been different since she's arrived. And not only does she bring the vibes, she brings big hits and some RBIs.
That brings up Lauren Lucas. And the count 1-0. Here's Lauren Lucas, flew out to left field in her first at-bat against Donnie Goburn. I believe the scoreboard is off. That should be 7-4, not 7-5. We'll check that afterwards. 3 runs coming home in the inning. Right? Did I? Nope, I got it right. I got it wrong. My apologies. 7-5.
Because 3 runs
Because
came
right,
home, and
3,
it was
yeah,
7-2
1 plus 1
coming
plus
into this
3. I
inning.
know.
Yep.
My apologies.
That's okay. It's
Giving
been
everyone
a
a heart
day.
attack here in the press box.
It's been a long day. It was hot today. The sun's getting to our heads. I know we were hungry earlier. We brought some snacks to the booth, so it's all going to be okay moving forward.
3-1 pitch to Lucas. That's upstairs. Ball 4.
The key to hitting Donnie Goburn is zoning down, and I've explained it on the first 2 games, but we'll give a quick recap right now. Is with the way that she throws everything up and it spins, you need to take pitches that start at your chest or higher, because that's just going to rise out of the zone. You're going to swing and miss. And so anything at your belly button or lower, you're going to swing at. Now, Lauren Lucas did a great job taking those pitches that were starting at her chest and rising out of the zone, and that's why she walks and finds her way to first base.
Well, Spade representing the go-ahead run. McKenna Smith at second, Lauren Lucas at first. Not a bad opportunity for one of the all-time home run hitting players in NCAA history, Carly Spade, to make her presence felt. Rise will even take one in the gap. 1-1, fouled off, and the count 1-2.
But this is why I love this league, because look, we talked about a possible run rule earlier, and now it's 7-5. It's a 2-run game. You can never sleep on either of these offenses. Atlanta did the same thing to the Rise yesterday, and so it makes for such exciting softball.
Here's the 1-2 swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch to get Spade for the second out.
Well, you're expecting everything up in the zone with spin from Donnie Goburn. She went to a curveball that took something off of it on that last one, falls away out of the zone. All Spade can do is try to foul one off, but unable to do even that.
So here's Sophia Nugent trying to keep this inning going for the Rise. That pitch in the dirt hits off the shin guard of Cody, and everybody moves up a base. Smith to third, Lucas up to second, and a 1-0 count to Sophia Nugent.
Sophia Nugent thrives in these situations with runners in scoring position as well, and any little inch that the Rise can take here, they're going to. So pass ball, able to advance runners to second and third. This creates a situation where a single can now score 2.
Nugent takes on the outer half, and the count 1-1. Hit a solo home run in her last at-bat, and even met some fans, or at least heard some chatter from some fans before the game.
It was a really cool moment. There were two little girls beforehand watching Sophia Nugent warm up, and they said, "Oh, that's the Tennessee catcher." And one of the moms said, "How do you know that?" And they said, "Well, we watched her on TV, and she has the makeup." And I think the really cool part of that story, John, is the fact that this game is growing, and it's so important to have this game on TV, to have young girls and young boys be able to watch it and see and look up to these players. Sophia Nugent had a great run at Tennessee. She was phenomenal in the Women's College World Series, and people are watching. And now these young girls can see her play in person and believe that they can maybe one day do the same thing, and that's how you grow the game.
Just great hearing those stories over and over again. Now the second year in existence as Nugent takes inside. And she reaches base for the second time today. And just like that, the bases are loaded for Sammy Williams.
Number 7, Sammy Williams.
You can't take a breath if you're a pitcher in this league, because the 8-hitter has 2 home runs already in this series. Sammy Williams, so much pop in her bat, and so you think, okay, I made it through the top half of the order. Let's breathe. Nope. You have to attack throughout the entire 1 through 9 batting order.
Williams chases high and away. On the count 0-1. She flew out to deep center field in her first at-bat. And that's off the plate. And the count 1-1.
The only pitch you're swinging at here, if you're Sammy Williams, is one that she can zone down on. And it was cool when she hit the home run, it was against Donnie Goburn to walk it off in game 1. And that's exactly what she told us in the booth post-game. She said, I knew I had to zone down. I knew I had to find something that wasn't too high, because Goburn does get a lot of swings and misses. And that was effective for her in game 1. Can she do the same thing in game 3?
Trying to do so here. Has 2 home runs in the series. Just off the plate. 2-1.
That's great discipline, because that's a pitch that Goburn wants you to swing at. She locates it well. Sammy Williams knowing, hey, this is a ball, I'm going to let it go.
Good hitters count for Williams. 2-1. Big swing and a miss. 2-2.
When Goburn keeps the spin tight on her ball like she did on that last pitch, it's so difficult to hit because it looks like a strike all the way through.
2-2. That pops off the glove of Cody, and Smith will scamper back to third. Well, good job by Cody to at least keep it in front of her, not allow any advancement on the base paths.
It looks like it just pops out of her glove, and also smart by McKenna Smith on the base pass. She takes off and then says, oh, nope, I'm headed back. She's almost halfway down the line as well. If Cody picks that up cleanly, she might have had a chance at her.
3-2, 2 outs. The pitch fell back to the screen. And we'll do it again.
These are the best moments in softball. Bases loaded, 3-2, 2 outs. They're the kinds of things that you work on in the cage, that you visualize, that you want to have a bat in your hand or the ball in your hand in these moments.
The Rise fell into a 7-1 hole, trying to dig themselves out of it. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. She struck her out. Donnie Goburn goes up the elevator shaft and strikes out Sammy Williams with the bases loaded. But the Rise get 3 runs back, and we're on to the 4th.
With proven day programs, routines, and expert coaching, Camwood Elite is the one-stop shop to improve your game or pick up some of the elite equipment in the nation. From pro-grade game bats to elite training, check out CamwoodBats.com today. AZ Gloveman is Casa Grande, Arizona's quality leather sporting goods provider. Softball, baseball, batting gloves, and more. AZ Gloveman caters to men's and women's slow-pitch softball markets throughout the United States. Build your dream glove today at azgloveman.com. Conveniently located in Rockville Center, Frank's Steaks is a refined but casual, authentic New York steakhouse on Long Island. Since it opened 40 years ago, Frank's Steaks has been committed to serving high-quality prime cuts of beef in a timeless New York atmosphere with a friendly, attentive waitstaff. It's this obsessive dedication to our craft that has led Frank's Steaks to becoming the local destination for special dinners and celebrations. At Just Bats, our business strategy is simple. Get the perfect bat for you on time, every time, exactly as you promised. We not only provide you with the baseball bats and softball bats, but we also provide you with a winning experience and a promise like nobody else. Free shipping both ways, expert customer service, same-day shipping up until 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, on time, every time, exactly as promised at Just Bats. Since 2009, Jen Schroe Catching has been training the game's best catchers. From Olympians to national champions, Jen Schroe Catching is the #1 training source for softball catchers worldwide. Train with the best to become the best. Book a lesson today at jenschroecatching.com.
Left fielder number 9, Kiki Malloy.
Top of the fourth inning, a 7-5 game, and Kat Sandercock trying to keep it at that through a scoreless frame. Last inning, and the pitch misses down and in to Kiki Malloy, who tipped by a pitch and reached on an error, came around to score twice. The outfielder from Tennessee. If you're a Vol fan following along, it's got to be pretty cool to see both Malloy and Nugent and some other stars.
Two really fun players to watch when they were in those orange uniforms. They're really fun to watch now in their respected uniforms, and that's why everybody should be tuning into these games, because you see some of the best players that you watch in college.
Tomahawk to deep left field. Waddle looks up. Foul. The wind took that one. And that is just strike two.
That is a long foul ball. When you watch this replay, John, this ball lands in the trees. I lost it for a second because Kiki Malloy hit it so high and so far that you're not even sure if it's fair or foul. You'll see it come in the top left part of your screen. Kat Sandercock has to be pretty happy that that went foul and didn't stay fair.
Not too pleased with that last outside pitch call. She's not been able to get any pitch on the outer half. Goulburn saw some frustration last inning as well. 2-2. And it just stayed alive.
And here's why that becomes frustrating, right? Because Kiki Malloy just pulled that ball into the trees in left field. And so you want to work her away and say, okay, if you have all that power on the inside pitch, what are you going to do with the outside pitch? Are you going to wait back on it? And so if Sandercock can't get that call, she has to keep forcing it on the inside or middle, where Kiki Malloy is crushing the ball right now.
2-2. She crushes that foul.
But again, Sandercock had to come in on that pitch, and so 2-2, she maybe wants to go with a curve or a drop low and outside, but can she get the call?
Bless you.
Thank you. I tried to keep that off air, but it did not work. No cough button here today, everyone.
No cough, no dump, no delay. But a pretty good ball game, almost halfway through, and a 2-2 count to Kiki Malloy as the Rise are trying to retire her for the first time this evening. Just off the plate again.
You can see the frustration from Sandercock and McKenna Smith on that. Smith was set up even farther outside, and it did land more towards the middle. I think that ball was a bit elevated, so maybe that's why they didn't get that call. But again, struggling to find what will be called a strike.
Ninth pitch of the at-bat, and we'll have number 10. After that foul ball off to the left side.
This is another reason Kiki Malloy's in this leadoff spot, because she does see a lot of pitches in her at-bats, whether she's taking balls, swinging at strikes, or just also fouling off a lot of pitches and getting her timing down. And especially the Rise bring in Sandercock to this game, and so now Kiki Malloy trying to work her way through and make her throw more pitches to maybe get to yet another arm in the New York bullpen.
It's a 3-2 pitch. And that's popped foul behind the plate. And Klang's right in front of us. And the at-bat continues.
I'm a little disappointed in you, John. I think you could have dove for that one.
Yeah, but I would have had to take you out.
That's fine. I think that
Okay.
I think you would have made the catch. You got to get the out
You're
at
right.
all costs. Next time.
As long as the rules are established,
Yes.
that I can just run through everybody. Maybe have an end one situation. There's a swing and a miss, and finally Malloy goes down. Good battle between Sandercock and Malloy for the first out of the fourth.
Sandercock is able to get good drop spin on her pitches, and that one also working that curve away. She's been trying to get that pitch called over and over again, but instead of getting it called, she finally gets Kiki Malloy to chase it.
Here's Coco Woolley. Drove it to left for a double her last time up. Drove in a run.
But yes, back to establishing the rules. I need to see a little bit more athleticism or maybe a little bit more oomph in your step to make some of those plays.
You're right.
I'm just demanding more from you. I want you to elevate your game.
Well, that's how you keep me accountable. So I like that, and that's why you were one of the best leaders in A10 history. And, of course, now leading the charge over at the AAC. I've heard the stories.
Oh, have you? I don't know. They might have told you the wrong stories.
You run a tight ship.
Oh, we do. We try our best over there, let me tell you. We have a lot of fun, though.
Comes a 1-1. Rolled foul.
Sandercock working Woolley inside, and I really like that decision against left-handed slappers because, in my opinion, they're trying to hit the ball to the left side of the infield. I think jamming them in makes it much more difficult to get their bat around, especially when they're already running at you. Now, different people have different philosophies on it, but for me, I like an inside pitch to a left-handed slapper.
Well, it's hit on the ground to first. Spade knocks it down and has enough time to beat Woolley by a few strides, 2 away.
Because if you throw that pitch on the outside part of the plate and someone at third or short bobbles that ball, the slapper is safe. When you force her to hit it to the first base side by throwing her low and in or even up and in sometimes, all she can do is pull it to first or second. That pitch calling, the placement of that pitch turns out successful for New York.
Jada Cody takes strike 1. Cody an RBI single and a strikeout, 1 for 2 on the day. And I didn't get the chance to catch up with Cody before the game and just ask her about her batting stance and how she goes from almost squaring to then reeling back and hitting. And it looks like a right-handed slapper up there. She's got power.
You know, the more I watch it, you know what I equated to? We talked yesterday about the Happy Gilmore drill that people do, but think about when you're playing defense as an infielder. A lot of people take the 1-2 step hop. Some people take 1-2 get down in their stance. I know as an outfielder, I was 1-2 hop, staying high, and so it's timing, right? You're timing yourself up to be able to move laterally, and I think for her, she's timing herself up to get to the pitcher.
2-1 line, nice catch by Alex Brown, side retired. Kat Sandercock's retired the last 6 in a row. And let's take another look at Brown, robbing Cody of extra bases.
She's already playing deep because she knows the power of Jada Cody. There's that getting ready, the 1-2 hop. She's able to move laterally, get up and get that Alex Brown. What a play. 7-5 here. The Atlanta Smoke still lead as we head into the bottom of the 4th.
College planning is a complex, multi-year journey requiring academic and standardized test success, resume building, and sensible college selection, as well as application savvy. Our college readiness services are designed to help you start early, stay organized, and navigate the critical process with confidence. With college admission and financial advising and ACT, SAT test prep, visit methodlearning.com today. At Just Bats, our business strategy is simple. Get the perfect bat for you on time, every time, exactly as you promised. We not only provide you with the baseball bats and softball bats, but we also provide you with a winning experience and a promise like nobody else. Free shipping both ways, expert customer service, same-day shipping up until 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, on time, every time, exactly as promised at Just Bats. Since 2009, Jen Schroe Catching has been training the game's best catchers. From Olympians to national champions, Jen Schroe Catching is the #1 training source for softball catchers worldwide. Train with the best to become the best. Book a lesson today at jenschroecatching.com.
7-5 game as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Donnie Goburn looks to keep it that way. She'll deal the 9-1-2. Kayla Wadel, Alex Brown, and Jenna Laird in the home half of the fourth inning. She's Maria Trivalpiece. I'm John Perez. A lot of offense, a lot of borderline pitches, but the hitters have really come to play in this series. As Wadel, who singled to center, takes ball one in her last at-bat.
I wonder how each pitcher will adjust because neither of them are getting that call on the outside corner. And so do you decide to stop throwing your pitches that are out there, or do you try to move it in an inch? Because if you move it in a little bit more, it's pretty much over the red part of the plate where hitters can hit it well. And if you're a hitter, I'm not swinging at that pitch until I get 2 strikes. Like, unless it's your pitch that you really like that you can drive, but let it out there. The pitchers aren't getting that call, and so work long at bats and force them to bring it down the middle.
1-1 is low, and the count 2-1. Wadel hitting .292 coming into tonight's game. No home runs, 4 RBIs. Getting the start in left and takes down and in. And the count 3-1. Wadel, one of the many returners for this New York Rise team that returns all but 4 players from a year ago. A team that was able to build something here on Long Island, finish 3rd in their respective league, even though I know that there's some technicalities there, not actually a league, there's independent, but you're under one umbrella. It's all paperwork at the end of the day, right?
It hurts my head. It's a bit confusing at times. But either way, we're here. We're watching, playing, calling softball. I'll take all of it.
Wadel gets caught looking for the 3rd Donnie Goburn strikeout, and we go back to the top of the order.
Well, Donnie Goburn not getting the outside corner, so what does she do? Makes an adjustment and brings it into Kayla Wadel. That's a big first out for Goburn and the Smoke.
Well, here's Alex Brown doing what a leadoff hitter does. She came around to score twice. She just continues to get on base.
Well, the thing that's impressed me most about her today is not just her hitting in her at-bats, but it's her base running, John. That's generated 2 runs for the Rise today because she's been aggressive, but also intelligently aggressive. What I mean by that is that she makes aggressive decisions, but not silly decisions that can run her into an out. She knows when to take risks and when to put on the brakes.
And some players just have it. You can have the talent, but you got to have the instincts, and she has the complete package. And a big reason why Clemson was able to have the success this year with her leading the Tigers to their first ACC championship in program history. First team All-ACC selection. And ahead in the count 2-1 against Goburn. Little chopper and rolls foul. Cody almost had a play on it, but the count even at 2-2. Billy Kerwood got the start, went the first 2 1/3. Gave up 3 runs on 4 hits. A walk, no strikeouts. The Rise scratching and clawing after falling into a 7-1 hole. And Brown goes down swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts for Goburn, and 2 away in the home half of the fourth.
Anytime that Donnie Goburn gets 2 strikes on you, you have to at least keep it in the back of your mind that that Rise ball is an option. It's one thing to know it, it's one thing to think about it, but man, John, when that ball is coming in with the tight spin that it has, she will get you to swing and miss, and that's what she did to Alex Brown.
Jenna Laird looking for her first hit of the night. 0 for 2 in her previous at-bats.
Even though,
No, please.
even though Jenna Laird is 0 for 2 today, she did have some quality at bats. I think the one that stands out to me the most is when she hit that ground ball to move Alex Brown to third base, because that ultimately resulted in one of the Rise's runs.
Reached base 6 times in the series so far. Came around to score in the third after reaching on a fielder's choice. A local product from Mizzou, one of 3 Mizzou Tigers that originally signed with the Rise. Last year it was Laird, Alex Honnold, and Lauren Krings. Both Laird and Krings returning for the second season in Rise history.
And that continuity you'll see start to come out in the later games in this season, because when you're able to retain players and keep similar rosters, you understand each other, you understand how a batting order might work, and I think that's an advantage for the Rise that will really help itself as they head into the later games of the year.
Coburn looking to strike out the side. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Atlanta by 2. Not that time.
Laird fights that ball off. Still some spin on it from Donnie Coburn, but it didn't jump out of the zone as much, so Laird able to get a piece of it and stay in this at bat.
Laird with only a couple of strikeouts through the first 14 games of the season. And goes down swinging. Donnie Coburn strikes out the side in the 4th. We're on to the 5th. 7-5 Atlanta.
With proven day programs, routines, and expert coaching, Camwood Elite is the one-stop shop to improve your game or pick up some of the elite equipment in the nation. From pro-grade game bats to elite training, check out CamwoodBats.com today. AZ Gloveman is Casa Grande, Arizona's quality leather sporting goods provider. Softball, baseball, batting gloves, and more. AZ Gloveman caters to men's and women's slow-pitch softball markets throughout the United States. Build your dream glove today at azgloveman.com. At Just Bats, our business strategy is simple. Get the perfect bat for you on time, every time, exactly as you promised. We not only provide you with the baseball bats and softball bats, but we also provide you with a winning experience and a promise like nobody else. Free shipping both ways, expert customer service, same-day shipping up until 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, on time, every time, exactly as promised at Just Bats.
So, here's how it goes. Dan,
Top of the 5th
you got
inning
10
here
seconds to show
at Bill
us
Edwards
what you
Stadium.
got. Are you ready?
And the Rise trying to come all the way back. They have fallen down 7-1.
Come on, let's see it.
There's got a dance competition behind the plate. Try and get our eyes on that.
I hope that we do eventually, because this guy has got the moves. Oh, we missed them. You know what I think we're going to have to do? We're going to have a dance party in the booth, and John needs to show us his moves instead.
I don't think the booth can handle it, but here comes Claire. That was Dan. Here we go. Look at that, hyping up the crowd as well.
I think I would really injure myself if I did. Nope, that would not happen. My ACL would hate me if I did that.
See, that's cheating because kids don't need to stretch.
I would have needed at least a 30-minute warm-up. I'll give you a funny story about that, speaking about us needing to stretch. I occasionally still play. Not well, but I still play. And, oh yeah, Claire has to win this. We'll get to my story in a second. Let's see. Oh, I love that. I think I want one of those dolls.
Well, get down there.
I'm not dancing. I'll tell you why in my story for a second.
Oh, come on. That was then. This is now. There's no
Oh.
time better than now.
Then why aren't you down there?
Someone's got to maintain order up here.
Oh, okay. Okay. See how you skirted out of that one? I saw what you did there. Mm-hmm.
How about Kat Sandercock skirting out of trouble? She's retired 7 in a row, excuse me. And here's Charlotte Eccles. Couple RBIs on the day. Doubled back in the first to make it a 1-0 game, and then a sacrifice fly in the second.
Well, Kat Sandercock's an elite arm because she can do what she's done today, and that's come into a game in a tough situation and just shut teams down. She throws the ball hard, but it's that off speed, which we saw right there on that pitch, that also makes her so good. And so when you go from Jalen Ford to Kat Sandercock, it's a different look, and the Atlanta Smoke haven't been able to adjust quite as well to Sandercock as they did to Ford in the earlier innings.
2-1. That's hit in the gap, deep right center field. Looking up, it's high off the wall. And Charlotte Eccles digging for 2 and slides in ahead of the tag.
Well, I think Charlotte Eccles heard me say that the Smoke haven't adjusted yet to Kat Sandercock and said, oh, really? Let me show you. And all the credit goes to Eccles here. This ball hung up high. Eccles gets her bat to it full barrel. It almost looked like it was maybe going to go out, but hits the top of the wall. She turns on her jets as well to stretch that into a double. So, all right, Charlotte Eccles and Atlanta Smoke, you are adjusting well to Kat Sandercock after that double.
Hit it right off the More to Explore Nassau County Tourism Board, and she certainly made her way around the bases in this series. As Morgan Howe steps up to the plate, that ends the streak of 7 straight retired by Sandercock. Howe attacks the first pitch and pounds it foul, 0-1. That's hit off the leg of Eccles, who is out on the live ball, and Howe is aboard. That's a stinger for Eccles.
That is so tough because Charlotte Eccles doesn't have any time to get out of the way of this ball. Morgan Howe hits it right on the button, right where Eccles is taking her lead. You know, it's crazy, John, because in all of the softball I've played and watched and called, on second base, you don't really see that hit up the middle, hit the base runners, and we've seen that happen once today, actually hitting the runner, and then almost hitting Alex Brown when she was running from second to third.
That's why you got to come to the ballpark every day, because you'll see something you've never seen before.
You know, when I prep for games, I always like to do just a deep dive also of the rules and different scenarios. And the crazy thing is there's always something new that happens. And so I'll always be going back into a rule book and trying to figure it out. Or like the question you asked me earlier, I'm going to study up and figure out why the umpires are looking at third instead of first. And so it's so interesting in the game of softball. And that's what makes it so exciting, because different things can happen on any given night.
Well, that's high and in the count 2-0. The one thing that I think we got some additional prep for earlier, and we had the chance to speak to a few players. We asked a few players on each side if they could wave a magic wand, institute a new rule, get rid of a rule. What changes would you make? And Morgan Howe at first base said that she would eliminate the crow hop in the circle.
Interesting.
Now, as a former player, and we'll keep an eye on Sandercock and her legs too, if we could get a shot from one of the baselines. When she pitches, is she infracting there? Let's roll to first. Spade on the bag, goes to second, and not in time, but a fielder's choice, and there's 2 away.
It's interesting because when I played, you were not allowed to crow hop, and you had to have 2 feet on the rubber. And so they made these changes within the last couple of years. And, you know, there's pros and cons to all of it, because when you do throw with the crow hop, you're able to get a little bit more speed on the ball. Obviously, when your feet aren't tied up both on the rubber and you have 1 foot on and 1 foot off like Sandercock does there, that gives you a little bit more power and speed as well. So definitely changes that are helping the pitcher. But the interesting thing is, if you've ever watched like men's major fast pitch and men's professional fast pitch, they all crow hop. They all have 1 foot on the rubber, and so it's something that's not foreign to softball. It's just a little bit more foreign to the women's game right now, because for so many years they weren't allowed to do that. So Morgan Howe wants to get rid of it. I get it. She's played most of her career with the 2 feet on the rubber and the crow hop. I'm sure the pitchers will argue in favor of keeping it, and the hitters will say, no, please, you're throwing it way too hard. Now can we go back to what we used to do?
1-1, Grimm swings and misses. And the count 1-2.
The changeup on the previous pitch makes that next pitch look so much faster, and Grimm's caught guessing, so she swings and misses.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Popped up. Shallow center, now drifting to left. And there's Wadle to make the catch. And the inning is over. Go to the bottom of the 5th, 7-5 Atlanta.
Conveniently located in Rockville Center, Frank's Steaks is a refined but casual, authentic New York steakhouse on Long Island. Since it opened 40 years ago, Frank's Steaks has been committed to serving high-quality prime cuts of beef in a timeless New York atmosphere with a friendly, attentive waitstaff. It's this obsessive dedication to our craft that has led Frank's Steaks to becoming the local destination for special dinners and celebrations. With proven day programs, routines, and expert coaching, Camwood Elite is the one-stop shop to improve your game or pick up some of the elite equipment in the nation. From pro-grade game bats to elite training, check out CamwoodBats.com today. College planning is a complex, multi-year journey requiring academic and standardized test success, resume building, and sensible college selection, as well as application savvy. Our college readiness services are designed to help you start early, stay organized, and navigate the critical process with confidence. With college admission and financial advising and ACT, SAT test prep, visit methodlearning.com today.
Home half of the 5th inning, 7-5 Atlanta. Donnie Goburn trying to lock it down. She's one of the long relievers, the first option out of the pen. Struggled in game 1 against the Rise, but has settled down nicely, struck out the side in the 4th.
Well, she's getting ahead on hitters, and then she goes to that rise ball that is so difficult to hit. Tight spin, starts it in multiple places, so you're not sure if it's going to rise into the zone, if it's going to rise above your hands. Either way, it looks beautiful coming in, and then your bat's underneath it.
Riley Blampede attacks the first pitch and spoils it foul.
And that's how you hit against Donnie Goburn, is you do have to hit early in the count. You don't want to get 2 strikes on you, because then she could play around with that rise.
Couple of Gamecocks going against each other. From the University of South Carolina. On the ground to third. There's the Gator, Eccles, fires to first to retire Blampede, and good to see Eccles is okay after taking that line drive on the knee on the base paths.
More than okay here, just a routine ground ball, but we've seen this infield play a little bit choppy, have some bad hops, and so Eccles stays down on it, moves through, comes up and makes a nice throw. But to your point, John, yes, that was a laser of a swing from Morgan Howe.
McKenna Smith goes the other way. Morgan Howe makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down.
Morgan Howe makes that catch. My point to earlier was she's the one that hit the ball that hit Charlotte Eccles, who was running from second to third. So it's good to see she's okay, back on her feet and over at the hot corner. You think of all places where she might get hit with the ball would be when she's playing third base, but no, actually running from second to third is when she got drilled in the calf or upper leg, I'm not sure.
We'll have to check the rule book. Maybe she'll ask to run the bases with her fielding glove next time out there, just to extra protection.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. When I would be on third base and you have a big right-handed power hitter up, you're taking a lead running at that person. Not a fun, exciting, or pleasurable experience.
Lucas goes the other way and shoots it into left field, a base hit. Lucas is aboard for the second time today, and that'll bring up Carly Spade representing the tying run.
Again, not trying to do too much. Lauren Lucas just hitting this ball hard and down, forcing the infield to make a play. You see she even stepped out a little bit as she swung at that ball, but still got enough barrel on it to get a base hit.
Carly Spade, a fly out and a strikeout. And lofts it foul, 0-1.
There's a lot of fly balls, especially behind the backstop. Again, that's because of the rise ball and the spin on it. These hitters are taking great hacks at the ball, but they're not able to barrel it up because that spin is so tight and there's only a split second that you can actually make contact with it in the zone.
Good stop by Jada Cody in the count 1-1. Spade 3 hits and 9 at-bats in the series. And fouled off. And the count 1-2.
Just underneath it. If I'm Goburn, I'm going with that rise ball that she's been starting about chest level and spinning it over the top of these hitters' bats.
Donnie Goburn has settled down each of the last 2 innings. And does it again. Gets Spade looking. Strike 3 called. We're on to the 6th, 7-5 Atlanta.
AZ Gloveman is Casa Grande, Arizona's quality leather sporting goods provider. Softball, baseball, batting gloves, and more. AZ Gloveman caters to men's and women's slow-pitch softball markets throughout the United States. Build your dream glove today at azgloveman.com. With proven day programs, routines, and expert coaching, Cam Wood Elite is the one-stop shop to improve your game or pick up some of the elite equipment in the nation. From pro-grade game bats to elite training, check out camwoodbats.com today. Conveniently located in Rockville Center, Frank's Steaks is a refined but casual, authentic New York steakhouse on Long Island. Since it opened 40 years ago, Frank's Steaks has been committed to serving high-quality prime cuts of beef in a timeless New York atmosphere with a friendly, attentive waitstaff. It's this obsessive dedication to our craft that has led Frank's Steaks to becoming the local destination for special dinners and celebrations.
7-5 the lead for Atlanta. Welcome back into the broadcast booth. Maria Tribal Piece. It's been night and day in this one.
Oh, absolutely. It started off with a lot of Atlanta Smoke offense, then the Rise respond, get it to 7-5. Now both pitchers coming in and starting to shut down these batting orders. Kat Sandercock doing a great job for the Rise in relief, and Donnie Goburn for the Atlanta Smoke, striking out hitters left and right.
What's causing the strikeouts? Because that was something that was not in play each of the first 2 games.
Getting ahead in counts for both pitchers and then utilizing their strengths and their spins. Kat Sandercock will go up occasionally, but she has a good drop ball. And then Donnie Goburn, that Rise, oh my goodness, it just spins like a wiffle ball, and it makes it so incredibly difficult to hit.
And plenty more of those to give away soon. Thanks, Rise Nation.
8-9-1 due up for Atlanta in the top of the 6th inning. That is just foul. Let's see if we can take another look. Looks like it might have kicked some chalk there. First base umpire saying that it's a foul ball on the count 0-1.
I know, it was difficult to see live. At first I thought it was foul, but we can watch it again on this replay. Just a little bloop behind first base. Oh, it's foul. Did kick up chalk, but I think it's because there's some chalk laying to the side of that foul line down the first baseline.
Nasty pitch from Sandercock, changing speed in the count 0-2. And once again, Sandercock getting ahead in the count.
She's getting ahead and then also utilizing, as you mentioned, that other speed. And so that will keep a team that is hitting the ball hard off balance.
0-2. That's upstairs, 1-2.
And it does it because it makes you at least have to think that there's another speed. So when you have 2 strikes, your timing is dependent on what pitch Sandercock throws, but if you don't know if it's going to be the fast or the slow, you get guessing and you can't take as good of a cut.
Kraft turns on one and sends it foul down the left field line, bangs it off the wall, and the count stays at 1-2.
But that's why it's also important to be ahead in the count, because then you can force hitters to guess at fast or slow. If you're behind in the count, you might throw a changeup or an off speed, and they might be able to sit on it because they have nothing to lose if they swing and miss with less than 2 strikes.
1-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. She struck her out. Now 3 strikeouts out of the pen for Kat Sandercock in 4 innings of work.
Not only does the changeup create a different speed, but it also spins and falls off the table. What does that mean? Well, it's starting at about hip to knee height and falling underneath the bat. Just like we talked about with Go Bird, that ball traveling up and out of the zone, that's what Sandercock's drop ball does.
Pinch hitter for Atlanta is Michaela Timmons, making her first appearance of the series. Timmons from Ball State, hitting .333 on the year. 1 extra base hit, no home runs, and an RBI. Comes in for McKenna Dowell's spot. Attacks the first pitch and rolls it to first. And Carly Spade steps on the bag. And 2 quick outs for Sandercock.
Yesterday you asked me what my key was for game 2, and it was cleaning up the defense. And we still saw some more errors from both teams yesterday, but tonight we've seen a lot more solid defense, especially in the infield. That took an interesting hop, but Carly Spade keeps it in front and gets that out.
Yeah, yesterday Atlanta charged with 4 errors, New York with 2, which was uncharacteristic for Atlanta because they had only had 1 error for their first 7 games of the season. But Sandercock in a groove, dealing to Kiki Malloy. He's hitless in 3 at-bats, but reached base twice on a hit by pitch and reached on an error back in the 2nd inning. She scored twice as well.
Back-to-back off-speed pitches there from Kat Sandercock. She knows the power and the great eye of Kiki Malloy. She's not going to mess around and put anything over the middle of the plate. She's trying to get Malloy to chase.
1-1. 2-1. This has been a fun series, and these two are going to meet towards the end of next week in Atlanta, 4th of July weekend, on the 4th, 5th, and 6th. And it's rolled foul, third base side. And Sandercock a strike away from getting out of it.
Even when she got behind, she comes back and finds a way to get another strike and stay in a competitive count. Now I want to see a competitive pitch from her, somewhere that's not right down the middle, but is enough of a pitch that can be called for a strike.
2-2 coming. Changeup rolled off the bag and into left field, a base hit. She's thinking 2 and slides in ahead of the tag. It's a double for Kiki Malloy. And Atlanta with a runner in scoring position.
Kiki Malloy is so dangerous because she knows her speed, and as soon as she hits this ball, she is flying out of the batter's box. Alex Brown playing behind the bag to account for Malloy's power. Because of that, that ball pops off the third base bag, and Malloy finds her way to second. And that's huge because now with 2 outs, a single scores her instead of something more deep and powerful into the gaps.
Coco Woolley back to the circle, but fouls it off her foot. Count 0-1. Woolley 1 for 3 on the evening, an RBI double to left back in the 2nd inning. Atlanta threatening again, 0-1. That's in the dirt, skips past Smith, and that's going to allow Malloy to take the base.
You know, for how many good plays there have been in the infield defensively, I feel like we've seen a lot of wild pitches and pass balls today, John, which is really uncharacteristic for these catchers because both Jada Cody and McKenna Smith are so talented behind the dish.
Comes a 1-1. Just missed inside. And the count 2-1. And I wonder what the adjustment period is for the batteries to get in sync.
It really depends, because who have you caught in your career? At this point, you've probably caught everything from a drop ball pitcher to a rise ball pitcher to somebody who has good off speed. But the movement at this level, you have to take time to adjust to what your pitcher's throwing. And I think that's what's so impressive to me about these catchers, is that they've done a good job of that overall. We talked about Jada Cody and the way that she calls games. We mentioned how McKenna Smith does a great job framing. And so they're adjusting each and every day to a new pitcher and trying to do what they do best.
2-2. Just missed. 3-2.
And you can see the chemistry here between Sandercock and Smith. And as we said, Smith just arrived for this series, as well as Sandercock. And so they're kind of hitting it off right away, vibing a little bit. You see the energy, wanting those strike calls. That's what you want from a pair.
3-2 coming. She just gets a piece of it. Stay alive.
How about the confidence from Kat Sandercock, too, to go to that off-speed pitch on 3-2? That just shows you that she knows she can throw that pitch for a strike. And why is that important? Because now hitters still have to worry about that when they have a 3-2 count. Sometimes if a pitcher has an average changeup or an average off-speed, you're pretty much sitting fast on a 3-2 count. Not the case with Kat Sandercock.
Payoff pitch. Loop to left field, falling fast, but there's Wadle to pick it out of the air. Side retired. Kat Sandercock strands the runner at third as the Rise look to rally in the bottom of the sixth.
College planning is a complex, multi-year journey requiring academic and standardized test success, resume building, and sensible college selection, as well as application savvy. Our college readiness services are designed to help you start early, stay organized, and navigate the critical process with confidence. With college admission and financial advising and ACT, SAT test prep, visit methodlearning.com today. AZ Gloveman is Casa Grande, Arizona's quality leather sporting goods provider. Softball, baseball, batting gloves, and more. AZ Gloveman caters to men's and women's slow-pitch softball markets throughout the United States. Build your dream glove today at azgloveman.com. With proven day programs, routines, and expert coaching, Camwood Elite is the one-stop shop to improve your game or pick up some of the elite equipment in the nation. From pro-grade game bats to elite training, check out camwoodbats.com today.
It's rally time here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Double play, trying to get the crowd involved and signing some autographs as well. I don't think he knows how to use a pen.
He's working on it, right? Do you have a double play autograph?
I need to get one now that I know that they're a hot commodity.
Yeah, I know. Maybe we could. Can you? Is that illegal to like resell them online once you get one?
Well, now that you aired it across the nation and the world.
I was just asking. I didn't want to get in trouble, so I was clarifying before I tried to do that, you know?
So you're one of those people that will ask for permission and not forgiveness.
Yeah, my parents, both teachers, raised me to be such a rule follower. It's like my Achilles heel. I don't know if I've ever broken a rule in my life, unfortunately. Maybe a couple, but.
I think that's why we're perfect for each other, because I'm the opposite, just for forgiveness.
Always asking for forgiveness.
I think the 7 most important words are, I didn't know I couldn't do that.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I should start using that. It might make for things to be a bit more exciting. But that might raise my anxiety level way too high.
I didn't say I didn't have anxiety. I just said that I asked for forgiveness.
Oh, interesting. It looked like Jada Cody got plunked there on that pitch, but looks to be okay. Just as we were talking about how good these catchers are and the way that they're so tough within these games with their battery mates.
Here's a pair of catchers at the plate. Nugent getting the start at DP, but was the catcher last night. And ahead in the count 2-0. Hit a solo home run back in the second inning, her first of the season, then walked in the third. Atlanta at one point led 7-1 in the Rise. Rallied back for a run in the second and then 3 in the third to make it 7-5. But since then, it's been all goose eggs. And Nugent ahead in the count 3-0.
It's really been the pitching. I know Donnie Goburn is behind here, but both her and Kat Sandercock working ahead and then utilizing their strengths to get hitters out.
Nugent takes a strike, and the count 3-1. Rise don't really have a deep bench, but if Nugent can get on, perhaps you think about a pinch runner, especially in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yep.
Sammy Williams looms on deck. And the 3-1. 3-2.
Rise fans not happy with that strike call. You see Sophia Nugent smiling, but the fact of the matter is, it was called a strike, 3-2. How do you respond?
Well, just gets a piece of it to stay alive.
What an aggressive hack from Sophia Nugent. You could tell she was a little bit irked by that last strike call, and she took it out in her swing. That's a good way to respond. Don't get flustered, don't get upset. Do what you do best and hit the ball hard. Take a good aggressive cut.
Had a hit last night, looking for a 3rd hit of the series. And cues it foul. Stay alive.
She's right on Donnie Goburn, and so Goburn needs to be careful in where she places this ball. Yes, you need it to be a strike, but you can't leave it right down the middle.
Good battle brewing between Goburn and Nugent. Pitch, hit in the gap, right center field. It's Hill and Howe is there to make the catch for the first out of the 6th.
You can feel the wind blowing into the booth right now, especially as this game has gone on. There's been certainly more of a breeze, and I wonder how much that wind played into that fly out for Sophia Nugent, because from my vantage point, she hit that ball hard, right on the button, but it seemed to die as it got closer to the outfield.
Here's Sammy Williams, hitless in 2 at-bats, a fly out and a strikeout. And takes at the belt for a strike, 0-1. And a big swing and a miss. And the count 0-2.
That's how you pitch, though. Donnie Goburn threw that first pitch outside, but for a strike. And then the 0-1, she throws same level, but about an inch more outside. So forcing Williams to swing because it just got called a strike, but now it's a little bit more unhittable because it's more outside.
Doesn't get Williams to chase. And so the count 1-2. 60 pitches out of the pen for Donnie Goburn. Head in the count 1-2. 2-2. Two. Swing and a miss. She got her swinging. 7 strikeouts for Donnie Goburn and 2 away in the home half of the 6th.
You can say that you're going to lay off that rise ball as much as you want, but when it's coming at you and it looks fat right where you think that you can hit it over the fence, it has that late break that hitters just can't catch up to.
Kayla Wadle, single and a strikeout in 2 ABs. Tries to lay one down, fouls it off.
Wadle trying to change things up, and you've seen your teammates go down swinging. You've seen your teammates not been able to get on base against Donnie Goburn, and all the Rise need right now are 1 or 2 base runners to try to push a run across. So good decision there by Wadle to read the defense. The corners were a little bit back, try to drop one down.
Wadle just gets a piece of it, and quickly behind in the count, 0-2.
You have to expect that Donnie Goburn will go with that rise ball, and so make the decision to lay off of it if it's too high in the zone. Now, again, I sit up here and say that like that's the easiest thing in the world. Laying off a rise ball is every softball player's most difficult struggle.
It wasn't a rise, but still gets a piece of it. And smacks it foul off to the right side.
I think I still have nightmares about rise balls. I swung it over my head, and I've been done playing for a long time now.
Well, the good ones never forget their failures.
Oh,
Kayla Wadle trying to get the tying run to the plate. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 7-5 Atlanta. Last half of the 6th inning. 0-2. Got her. On the rise. 8 strikeouts out of the pen for Donnie Goburn as we go on to the 7th.
College planning is a complex, multi-year journey requiring academic and standardized test success, resume building, and sensible college selection, as well as application savvy. Our college readiness services are designed to help you start early, stay organized, and navigate the critical process with confidence. With college admission and financial advising and at Just Bats, our business strategy is simple. Get the perfect bat for you on time, every time, exactly as you promised. We not only provide you with the baseball bats and softball bats, but we also provide you with a winning experience and a promise like nobody else. Free shipping both ways, expert customer service, same-day shipping up until 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, on time, every time, exactly as promised at Just Bats. AZ Gloveman is Casa Grande, Arizona's quality leather sporting goods provider. Softball, baseball, batting gloves, and more. AZ Gloveman caters to men's and women's slow-pitch softball markets throughout the United States. Build your dream glove today at azgloveman.com.
Top of the 7th inning, 7-5 Atlanta in the rubber match after New York took the first game on a walk-off home run by Sammy Williams. Jayla Wright was able to slog through 7 innings for a complete game performance yesterday to win by this score, 7-5. And now New York, if they're going to spark a rally, they need to throw up another goose egg. And Kat Sandercock has been efficient, shaky at first, but has really settled down.
Well, she's just hitting her spots, and she's using that changeup more, and I think that's helped her as well, in addition to staying ahead on batters.
3, 4, 5 due up for the smoke. Jada Cody, Charla Eccles, and Morgan Howe. And Cody takes a first pitch strike, 0-1. Sandercock now 4 2/3 of scoreless softball, only giving up 3 hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Chopped into left field, and that's a base hit. And Cody's got her second hit of the day, now 2 for 4.
Sandercock throwing with the down spin, and so sometimes all you can do with that is hit the ball hard and on the ground. Jada Cody splitting Laird and Brown between short and third with another hit.
So here's Charla Eccles, a couple of doubles today, and has really come into her own in the series. Lifts us out to deep right center field, Blampede and Lucas, and there's Blampede for out number 1. See Blampede pointing at the lights, and home field's proving a little difficult for the first 3 games of the series for the outfielders.
Well, we saw some mistakes, especially in the first game from outfielders on both teams, and I think the wind plays a factor, and I also think the lights play a factor, especially here because the surrounding area is not very well lit, and so also depending on the height of the lights, it can really mess with your eyes in the outfield. I know night games are great and they look really pretty, especially on TV, but it's really difficult sometimes to see the ball.
So you always prefer dealing with the sun as opposed to the lights?
I could wear sunglasses. There's you can't wear sunglasses at night, and there's nothing that you can really stop. Now, if they're good lights and they're at the right height, they're not as bad. I don't know what that right height is. It's more just like of a feel thing. And I'm sure there's an actual science to it that I don't know. I don't build the lights in the stadium. I just yell at them when they get in my way and I'm trying to field the fly ball.
There was a whole song dedicated to wearing sunglasses at night. Fouled off. And the count 1 and 2.
I was also a big sunglasses girl. Like, I wore them pretty much every day game, even if it was overcast, because I thought it just helped me zero in on the ball a little bit better. And so I think that's another reason why I'd rather deal with the sun than with lights, because, I don't know, the sunglasses that I had, I just felt much more comfortable tracking down fly balls with.
Did you do the eye black too?
No, that wasn't cool enough.
Morgan Howe pops it up left side. Alex Brown navigating the dugout, makes the catch. 2 away.
Alex Brown doesn't let the third base dugout get in her way. She sprints to the dugout, finds it with her throwing hand, and then puts her glove up at the last second to make a crucial out for the Rise.
So that brings up Jasmine Hill. 0 for 3 on the evening. Grounded into a fielder's choice her last time up. And watches off the plate for ball 1. One 0. Swing and a miss. And the count 1 and 1.
I know we said that Sandercock has been good getting ahead on hitters. She's also utilized the off speed, but another pitch that I've liked from her is that one on the inside corner to right-handed hitters. They seem to struggle with it, either swing and miss or just let it go by for a called strike.
Now tipped into the glove of Smith. And Sandercock a strike away from getting out of it.
She has some extra speed, it seems, on those pitches as well, so I'd go right back to that one on the inside corner because Hill seemed to struggle with it throughout this game.
The Rise will have the top of the order due up in the bottom of the 7th inning, and Sandercock a strike away from getting out of it. And gets the call, strike 3, and down goes Hill. Rise look to rally when we come back.
Since 2009, Jen Schroe Catching has been training the game's best catchers. From Olympians to national champions, Jen Schroe Catching is the #1 training source for softball catchers worldwide. Train with the best to become the best. Book a lesson today at jenschroecatching.com. College planning is a complex, multi-year journey requiring academic and standardized test success, resume building, and sensible college selection, as well as application savvy. Our college readiness services are designed to help you start early, stay organized, and navigate the critical process with confidence. With college admission and financial advising and ACT, SAT test prep, visit methodlearning.com today. AZ Gloveman is Casa Grande, Arizona's quality leather sporting goods provider. Softball, baseball, batting gloves, and more. AZ Gloveman caters to men's and women's slow-pitch softball markets throughout the United States. Build your dream glove today at azgloveman.com.
Donnie Goburn looking to lock it down for Atlanta. A 7-5 lead for the Smoke, who dropped the first game, rallied back in game 2 yesterday in the middle innings, and now trying to hold on to that at 1.71 lead. They'll be the top of the order for New York. Alex Brown, Jenna Laird, and Riley Blampede due up against Goburn, who has come on and has been efficient, and like you said, Maria, has just continued to attack the Rise.
Starts ahead in the count, then goes to that Rise ball. When she's ahead on hitters, it's hard to lay off of. So, coming into the bottom of the 7th inning when you're trailing, my normal philosophy is, all right, let's take a strike, let's see some pitches. And I almost hesitate to say that here because if you take that first strike, now Goburn has you right where she wants you. And the key here is to get base runners. And so I think Michaela Transu has some decisions to make in what she instructs her team to do, because the normal softball basic rules, take a strike when you're down from the 5th inning on, might not apply as much here.
Alex Brown sends it to third on the first pitch, and Charlotte Eccles throws her out for a big out number 1 to begin the 7th.
Alex Brown is so quick that even on this ball hit right at Charlotte Eccles, she still almost beats it out. But Eccles, again, coming up big defensively. She knows that Brown slaps. She's already pulled in. She gets that ball in the first hop, makes a nice, easy throw over to first base. She's been solid at the hot corner tonight.
Jenna Laird takes off the plate for ball 1.
There's that outside pitch call that neither pitcher has really gotten tonight. Jenna Laird with the great discipline knowing that and taking it.
Laird reached on a fielder's choice back in the 3rd. But a strikeout and a ground out, including a strikeout against Goburn in her last at bat. Goburn has struck out 8 Rise hitters in relief. Laird shoots it down the left field line and slices foul. Count 2-1.
Laird gets a good piece of that. It's rising up and away from her, but she kept her barrel back in the zone long enough that she did drive it the other way, but with the spin, again, on Goburn's ball, that's why it tails foul.
Back in game 1, it was Laird reaching base. It sparked a rally and trying to do so here on a Saturday night in Hempstead. And ahead in the count, 3-1.
This is a big at-bat for Jenna Laird because she's seeing a lot of pitches against Goburn, and if she gets on base, that brings the tying run to the plate. And so her at-bat here is critical.
3-1. That's peppered in there for a strike, and the count's full.
And just saying that, I'm even okay with that take there because you're trying to work a count. You just need to be a base runner.
Payoff pitch. Lifted down the left field line in foul territory. Malloy slips and can't make the catch. Not a lot of real estate down that left field line and dealing with the warning track. And we'll see if Malloy is okay, but
I think she's okay. I just think that she didn't realize how close the fence was. She was on this ball, but she runs out of room and unaware that that fence is right there and runs right through it almost. She did maybe slip right when she got to the warning track too.
so we'll do it again. 3-2 pitch. And that's in there, strike 3 called. Donnie Goburn paints the black. 9 strikeouts, and the Rise are down to their final out.
That's so difficult because that's a pitch that's been borderline all night. Donnie Goburn gets it, though, by bringing it a bit more over the heart of the plate, just freezes up Jenna Laird.
Blampied, an RBI single and 3 at-bats. And takes low for ball 1.
I'm not even sure. Did that bounce before the plate?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Could just be a setup pitch.
No, it just looked really odd from where we were sitting. I was like, I think that skipped before getting to home, and then I had to double take. My eyes tricked me.
One-0. Laced foul into the parking lot. Count 1-1.
Blampied has taken some good cuts tonight. She's very aggressive attacking Goburn early in the count. She doesn't want to get behind and have to decide if she's going to swing at that rise ball or not.
One on the way. Swing and a miss. And Goburn a strike away from making a happy flight for Atlanta. Atlanta got the bats out early. New York has rallied. Let's see if they have one more fight left in them. 1-2 on the way. Outside. 2-2. This has been a fun series. And Atlanta, 1 strike away. Here comes the 2-2. 3-2.
Great take from Riley Blampede. That was certainly outside, but with 2 strikes, sometimes you think, oh, should I swing at it? Should I try to foul it off? Working a 3-2 count. Again, the Rise need base runners to bring that tying run to the plate. Blampede doing everything she can to be that first base runner in this inning.
Comes the 3-2. Swing and a miss. She struck her out as Donnie Goburn gets the final 4 2/3 of scoreless softball. Strikes out 10 Rise hitters as Charlotte Eccles hits a couple of doubles. Jada Cody and Maddie Grimm each with a couple of 2-baggers as well, as Atlanta takes the series 7-5. We'll wrap it up in a moment right here from Hofstra.
AZ Gloveman is Casa Grande, Arizona's quality leather sporting goods provider. Softball, baseball, batting gloves, and more. AZ Gloveman caters to men's and women's slow-pitch softball markets throughout the United States. Build your dream glove today at azgloveman.com. With proven day programs, routines, and expert coaching, Camwood Elite is the one-stop shop to improve your game or pick up some of the elite equipment in the nation. From pro-grade game bats to elite training, check out camwoodbats.com today.
Back here at Hofstra, Atlanta takes the series 2-1 against New York. A 7-5 final in each of the last 2 games. And it really was the bats that came to play for Atlanta in the first half of the game, and then Donnie Goburn put on a clinic.
Well, they scored early. They didn't score often, but you didn't have to when you bring in Donnie Goburn. Her stuff was just working today. That rise ball, I can't say it enough, how much spin it had on it, and then getting ahead in those counts. And the defense behind her played really well.
Well, for New York, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. Now, they were playing undermanned. No Courtney Day. She'll be back with the team as well, and some reinforcements coming on the way. But from a New York perspective, what did you like about in this series, and what are some things that they're going to have to shore up?
They have a lot of great hitters. I think the thing that was the difference maker in the losses was that they didn't execute with runners on. And I think in that first game they did, even with Sammy Williams coming up with that big game-winning home run. And so I think they're going to be fine. They have a great offense. And defensively, they're looking to be sharper as well. You bring in Kat Sandercock to add to that pitching staff. I think this is a very good New York Rise team who can compete with these other teams.
Yeah, it should be fun to see how New York gets out of this rut, because you know that the talent is certainly there. Well, it was a lot of fun working with you this series, Maria.
So much fun. I love calling New York Rise games.
It's totally the best. And for those of you at home, be sure to come to the Rise games on the 8th and 9th back here at Bill Edwards Stadium. They'll be taking on the Florida Vibe. But that's going to do it for our entire crew. For my partner, Maria Tribal Peace, this is John Perez saying so long. From Hofstra University, this has been a presentation of New York Rise Softball.